Hi, in this video we are going to learn about TextBox events. I have recorded one video on this topic, that how can we add a class module and handle similar event for multiple command button or text box or any MS form control. So I'll put the video link in the description or in the card, so make sure that you watch that before you watch this video. So basically in this video we are going to learn that when we create a class module and we use a WithEvents keyword, okay, so let's say text box event handler, okay, and if we use public WithEvents, that's a text box as ms forms dot text box. Now when we use WithEvents keyword, then we can get these different events, right, like change event, double click event, drop button click, and so on. Now we get this kind of event, but if you look at this carefully, then we don't have any before update or exit or enter event. But if we use the text box in the user form itself, then if you look at this, then we can see we have before update event, we have the enter event, error, and exit event, which is not available here, that we don't have before update or exit event or enter events, right? So this is a little bit problematic. So when sometimes we need this event like before update event and exit event, but we don't have that in this section when we use WithEvents keyword. So in this video I'm going to show you how can you get that kind of event and work with that, and please watch till end of this video so you understand the full concept. So before going to dive in the implementation details, I will request you to subscribe if you like my content. So let's move on. So I'm just going to show you that I just have a simple user form with one text box and one label, nothing fancy, and I don't have any code in this section. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this. And to understand that how can we get that kind of event like before update or after update or exit or enter, we need to read this documentation, I mean this blog post and this one. So I'm just going to wrap this whole post into very small description. Okay, so basically we cannot find that before update event, but there is a way you can have those event, okay, using a Win API. Okay, that is connect to connection point Win API, Win32 API, that it must be mentioned comes with a caveat. With a caveat, function is available through Windows XP, Windows Server 2003. It might be altered or unavailable in subsequent version of Windows. So this is only going to work on Windows machine. It's not going to work on Mac. Okay, now to make it work for those events, that is like after update or before update or enter or exit, we need to add this bb underscore user member id. And if we add this bb underscore user member id, then it will build the connection between those event with the this punk. Okay, so that is, if you look at this Win API, then it says punk as stdole.iunknown. Okay, so we need to put those bb underscore user member id. So what you need to do, you just need to, here is the punk in question exactly as I currently have it. So you just need to copy paste this code. Okay, so just copy this code and just copy this, and I'm going to save this as a text file. Okay, so open this text box punk, and this is a class module, so this will be CLS, and just copy paste the code, and I'm going to import that module in this project. So text box event punk. Now look at this, it's inserted as a module, and I do have another video when you have this kind of stuff, that you are importing a class module but it's importing as a module, and basically the issue is with the new line. So let me just open this and change this line feed to carries written and line feed. Save this and let me, and then import it again. Okay, so now it's basically import that correctly. So basically the main point of this video and how this work is with this Win API. Okay, connect to connection point, and then we have this, sorry, just we don't need this guard clause, so we can just get rid of that. So we are just using this connect method that registers the listener. So connect to connection point, me this ref id true, and this dot punct target. So this punct target is a text box object. Okay, so if you look at this as object, but normally we will use text box for this example. So I'm going to refactor it this little bit so that I can explain better. So let me refactor it. So I have refactored the code. This has a lot of boilerplate code and much more code because this code is using interface and implementing this interface. So I'll cover this video in this part in my next video where we can play with multiple handler. Okay, so make sure you watch that, and I'll put that as a end screen. So I just use this part of the code. I have get rid of that interface and other stuff. So now we have this punct target, that is basically the text box for this example, and we have this connect method that is just basically use this Win API method, and then it just connect that this class module to, if you look at this definition, this punct, right, already event as GUID and connect as long punct target as this, right. So this target is basically the text box, and this punct, this is basically this particular class module. Okay, and then we do have cookies and ppcp out as long pointer. Anyway, so whenever we need to connect, then we can use this connect method to wait those event with this particular method. Okay, now one after update, it doesn't matter if you name this one after update or anything else like on after update calls or something like that, but you need to make sure that this method signature is same. So by means, what I mean by method signature is that this, if we use exit, then you can see that text box 1 underscore exit, and this exit, it's saying that by value cancel as ms forms dot return value. And if you look at this code, and if we go into this one exit, then by value cancel as ms forms dot return value. So make sure that you keep that signature, this parameter signature, but you don't need to keep the same name, that exit. Okay, you can use like one exit or one before update or one after update. Okay, so you just need to put the correct member id, bb underscore user member id, I guess, and then it will wire them up. Okay, so basically whenever we will do this kind of event, like one exit, so whenever we'll exit from that particular text box, this event will fire up. Okay, so let me show you in action. So if we go into this user form, what we need just simple code like this public events punct as control events punct. We are just creating an instance and setting to this text box 1, and then we are just doing this connection. Okay, connect. And if we run this now, look at this immediate window, because I am just printing those messages that one before update, on exit, one enter right now. Okay, so let me just do this, and if we just run this, anyway, just cancel this, you can see one enter and one exit event fired up, right? So you can see that whenever we are doing any event, so let me do this again. This time I will just add some text, and then I will just close this. Now you can see one enter fired off, and then one before update, one after update, and then one exit. So you can see that this is now linked to this text box, is linked to this particular class module, right? And you can access those event that is not previously available when we use with events keyword. Okay, so if you need events that is not available using with events, then you need to use this Win API, and it will be really useful in scenario where you want to create a generic class module. Let me give you some example, real example. So let's suppose you have a text box. Okay, this is the ID, and you know that the ID is always going to be alphanumeric, so it's always A to Z and 0 to 9. You don't allow any other characters, right? And you want to create some generic class module to handle that kind of validation, and then you can create that using a class module, and you don't need to worry about that validating, right? Because you can use exit event or before update event or after update event to check that if the specified value in the text box is valid or not. Okay, I'm going to show you the real implementation with multiple events handler in my next videos. Okay, so thank you for watching and have a good day.